Here's a secret that phone manufacturers don't really advertise. Buried inside the camera app you use every single day is a powerful, professional-grade camera just waiting to be unleashed. You've probably scrolled past it a dozen times. It might be called Pro, Manual, or Expert mode, and it looks intimidating with all its graphs and numbers and sliders. So you stick with the safe, simple Auto mode, letting the algorithm make all the decisions for you. But what if I told you that in the next 10 minutes you could learn to use those sliders to take photos that don't just look like good phone photos, they look like they were taken on a professional camera. Photos with silky smooth waterfalls, sharp action shots of your kids or pets, and beautiful low-light images without that ugly, grainy noise. This isn't about having a better phone. This is about understanding the tool you already have. Today, I'm going to be your guide into the secret Pro mode on your phone. We're going to demystify each of those scary settings one by one, and I'm going to give you simple, real-world recipes you can use tonight to see a dramatic difference in your photos. This is the key to going from being a snapshot taker to a photo creator. The first step is finding and understanding the layout of your Pro mode. On most Android phones, you lines find it by swiping through the modes in your camera app. It as often alongside video, portrait, and night. On recent iPhones, you might need a third-party app like Halide or Moment, or use the built-in ProRAW settings in the Photos options. Once you open it, you're typically greeted with four main controls, often represented by icons: ISO, shutter speed, white balance, and focus. It looks like a pilot's cockpit, but don't panic. We're going to tackle them in a logical order, starting with the one that gives you the most creative control immediately: shutter speed. Think of shutter speed as how long your phone's camera blinks. A fast shutter speed, like 1/1000th of a second, is a very quick blink. It freezes action perfectly. This is what you use to capture your dog sprinting across the yard or a soccer player kicking a ball without any motion blur. A slow shutter speed, like 1 second, is a long, slow blink. A slow shutter speed, like 1 second, is a long, slow blink. It lets in more light and captures movement over time. This is the magic setting for creating those beautiful, dreamy light trails from car headlights at night, or turning a rushing waterfall into a smooth, misty flow. The pro tip here is to start with shutter speed. If your photo is too dark, slow it down. If there's unwanted motion blur, speed it up. It's the most intuitive way to start taking control away from the auto mode. Now, let's talk about the setting that controls brightness and grain ISO. In the days of film, ISO was the film's sensitivity to light. In your digital phone, it's very similar. A low ISO number, like 100, means your camera's sensor is less sensitive to light. This gives you a clean, noise-free, and crisp image, but it requires more light, so you'll need to use it outdoors or in bright settings. A high ISO number, like 3200, makes the sensor very sensitive, allowing you to take photos in dark environments without a flash. The trade-off is that it introduces digital noise, that ugly, colorful grain that makes your photo look low quality. The common mistake is cranking the ISO way up in a dark restaurant and wondering why the photo looks terrible. The insider secret is to keep your ISO as low as possible, as often as possible. Use shutter speed and the next setting we'll discuss to control brightness first, and only raise the ISO as a last resort. Your goal is to balance a shutter speed that's fast enough to avoid camera shake with the lowest possible ISO. This single principle will dramatically improve the quality of your low-light photos. The final two controls are your polish settings, and they're incredibly powerful. First is white balance. This simply controls the color temperature of your photo, making it look warmer, more yellow, orange, or cooler, more blue. Auto mode often gets this wrong, especially under artificial lighting, making your photos look too yellow or too sterile. In Pro mode, you'll see a slider or presets like Tungsten, Daylight, and Cloudy. The Pro move is to tap the white balance icon and then point your camera at something that is supposed to be white or neutral gray in the scene. This tells your phone, this is white, adjust all the other colors accordingly. It's the fastest way to get accurate, natural-looking colors and is especially crucial for indoor photography. The last control is manual focus. While autofocus is brilliant, it sometimes gets confused. Manual focus puts you in complete control. You'll see a slider or a focus peaking feature that highlights the edges of what's in focus in a color like red or yellow. This is absolutely essential for creative shots. Want to take a photo through a fence or a window? Switch to manual focus and focus past the obstruction. Want to achieve that beautiful, soft background blur on a flower without using portrait mode? Get close to your subject, switch to manual focus, and fine-tune it until the flower is pin sharp and the background melts away. This gives you a much more natural and professional-looking bokeh than the software-generated version. So, let's bring it all together with a practical recipe. Let us say you're at a city park at dusk and want to capture light trails from cars. Here's your step-by-step plan. First, mount your phone on a steady surface or a small tripod. This is non-negotiable for slow shutter speeds. Open Pro mode. Set your ISO to its lowest value, usually 50 or 100. This ensures a clean, noise-free image. Now, dial your shutter speed down to somewhere between 2 and 5 seconds. The longer the shutter speed, the longer the light trails will be. Your photo will look completely white at first because it's overexposed. This is where the final, often hidden setting comes in: exposure compensation. Look for an icon that looks like a plus or minus symbol and drag it down until the scene looks correctly exposed. Finally, set your white balance to daylight or cloudy for a warm, pleasing tone, and use manual focus to focus on the road where the cars will be. Now take the shot. You've just created a professional-looking long exposure that your phone's auto mode could never achieve on its own. This is the power of taking control. Pro mode isn't about making things more complicated. It's about giving you creative choices. Start with one setting at a time, go out this weekend and just play with shutter speed. Then, the next time, add ISO into the mix. Within a week, you'll be operating the controls without even thinking about it, and you'll never want to go back to auto again. Your phone is a camera first. It's time you started using it like one.